Hello, and welcome to the Chronicles of a Dreamworker, a podcast dedicated to exploring what happens on the other side when we close our eyes. I'm your host and creator, Katie Thompson. I'm a lifelong intuitive and creative storyteller. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, mother, wife, and advocate. I'm also a dreamworker. In this episode, I want to talk about how you start your days and how that can impact your dream work at night. Now, everyone needs to start their days differently. Some of us need exercise or a shower to really wake up. Some of us like to have coffee and a meal or nothing. I will say, I feel like most of us don't have much of a choice in how we start our days in the way we live in the society right now. This especially goes for workers, parents, caregivers, and let's be honest, anyone can wake up on the wrong side of the bed any day, right? Well, how I've had to change my approach to each day has completely transformed my life. It has also greatly enhanced my dream work, improving my dream recall, the quality of sleep I get, as well as an increase in the frequency of lucid dreaming. I am a slow mornings person and I have benefited from it so well. I've started sharing encouragement from the slow mornings movement over on threads and really it should be a movement, especially if we wake up so stressed out already. Then we really owe it to ourselves, our mental and physical health to invest in what we need to have the best possible start every day. And this hasn't been an easy or quick process for me. It really began last year when we as a family would wake up so stressed out and tired every morning before school. It just made everything so much harder. And for me personally, it became really difficult to start my days off feeling off balanced, especially after the rush of getting kids ready and out the door for school, or if I had a long commute or whatever I faced that day. So, what I'm going to do is go through my day from waking to sleep and share with you what works best for me. I'll share what I've tried and what others have utilized to enhance their dream work and their lives with more nourishing, slow routines. And don't worry, it's just the highlights here, so I can keep it concise and easy for you to get started too. Here's what most mornings look like for me now. We generally wake up pretty quietly and gently as a family. And if it's just me, I'll make myself a cup of tea and get my husband's morning coffee ready. I will be honest though, normally it is him waking me up with the tea in bed as I require a little more sleep than him and the kiddos do. With that, I'm usually up, getting the kids' teeth brushed, hair combed, dressed, ready for the day. We hug and kiss, and they are off. It's this time here after that that is the most crucial for me that I've found. I start by clearing my space, lighting a candle, and playing some music. I get settled in with my tea, my oracle cards, my journal, everything I need to start my day. I then meditate for as long as I feel is right that day. It could be a few minutes in and I'm feeling super grounded, or I might like to sit for a little while longer. Once I feel centered, or even if I feel I'm a little busy in the mind that day, but could still use some guidance, I refer to my resources such as my oracle cards, selected readings, and horoscopes for the day. During this time, I also tend to write poetry, reflect in my journal, or share dreams that I had the night before. It can be a little bumpy mentally and emotionally at times, but every day I feel so much better for having taken this time to process for myself. I'm also someone with a bit of mobility issues and chronic pain. So if I do feel well enough to exercise afterwards or even just stretch, I love to do that. I tend to also find myself in a good intuitive frequency for creating or making something after this time. This is also a big one. I go screen free as possible for at least the first hour of every day. Now, this is not always possible. And if I want to turn on some music or something, I'm not locking my phone away or anything like that. But I am being intentional with my attention during that time. I try not to check messages, social media, emails, news, anything really until I have completed my slow morning session. I feel so much more balanced and more prepared to be able to process and understand what's happening around me throughout the day when I do this. And that includes receiving the thousands upon thousands of messages we receive on our phones and technology every day. And this just going an hour without the screens, I thought it would be so hard. But I've come to cherish that time using it to invest in myself, my family, and my well being. I feel so good afterwards. And when the results are so positive, it's hard to not make it a habit. I'd love to go without my phone all the time if I could. And as I mentioned before, this didn't all happen at once. Some of these habits started naturally at the same time, but really, I started small. The very first change I made, I dropped my heavy caffeine intake in the mornings. I found it just wasn't helping with my anxiety and focus in a way that felt healthy. For years, I was a big time coffee drinker, multiple cups per day. But switching to tea and sometimes even just a big glass of ice cold water in the mornings has been an amazing change for me. It has also changed my relationship with caffeine in a way that feels more healthy. I still drink a cup or have a cold brew in the afternoons for a pick me up when I feel like it. I didn't go completely coffee free. I just changed how I incorporated it into my life and health routines. And let's be honest, there's a big difference between having 3 cups of French press and a latte every day or just a cold brew every once in a while. It's made a big difference. Again, it wasn't hard to make the change once I felt so much better after making it. So these are some changes I've made to my mornings. And again, some of these might sound like big shifts requiring a lot of time that we don't really have. But if we make time for it, we can make these bigger changes happen by starting small. Maybe for you, it's going on a walk with your dog instead of scrolling every morning. Maybe it's reading a passage from the Bible or a preferred religious text. Maybe it's just sitting in the quiet for 5 minutes and letting yourself be. Whatever it is you want and can do for you, do it. Just do it. You are more than worth it. And everyone and everything that you encounter in your day afterwards will be better for you doing that as well. So it's not selfish to invest in yourself. The world needs you at your best, and you deserve everything it takes to be your best. Remember that. Now, I'll continue to journal throughout the day. And one thing I like to do to help wind down in the evenings is to listen to an audiobook or a podcast for a few minutes. I like to make sure I take time to do a puzzle or some sort of gently stimulating activity too. It makes me feel like I'm doing something, fun and enriching, but without being too much. I tend to run out of steam literally by the evening, so the wind down times are my favorites. For the evenings, I keep the lights dim in the bedroom. I love the little battery operated twinkle lights, especially the ones you can set on timers. You can set them around or drape them throughout your room, on dressers or plants or wherever you like a little bit of twinkle. For me, keeping the overhead light off is a must. I also try to be incredibly mindful of the media I consume during this time. It's super tempting to want to catch up on something new, which I've learned I can't do during this time because I will then stay up too late watching it. It's super easy for me to fall into the scroll stupor as well. It's one of my favorite guilty pleasures, but even then, I try to stick to light topics such as baking recipes or dog videos or things that just aren't too heavy. I am definitely guilty of using screens too late into the evening. So, this is one bit of advice I definitely need to take for myself. One workaround I found for this is actually cozy gaming. A few minutes of playing a relaxing video game or a mobile game on my phone has the same soothing effect on me as reading does. So once I've finally fallen asleep and I have the opportunity to lucid dream that night, I have found that my dreams are much more clear and my recall is much stronger. The dreams also feel stronger, if that makes sense. They feel more vibrant, more impactful. And I feel like I am able to consciously engage with my lucid dreams more. I feel I am much more quick to consciously realize that I am lucid dreaming, and that allows me to come to other realizations and even emotionally process and remember certain things better. My mind is just more clear and able to handle the balance of the waking and dreaming life and the dualities of my existence here as a human and elsewhere in spirit. It allows me to get so much more out of my lucid dreaming experiences and hopefully progress in my spiritual journey in the way that is meant for me and the highest good. As I mentioned previously, in the mornings, my dream recall is also much stronger, but so is my ability to emotionally recall. I tend to journal and write things out a lot, but certain emotions and lessons are becoming more ingrained in both my waking and dreaming consciousness with these routines. It has been a wonderfully transformative time for my dream work and also for my work as an intuitive. I highly recommend, if you can get 30, 20, even if only 5 minutes for yourself in the mornings, do it. It is so important. And do only what makes you feel your best in those 5 minutes. Journal, dance, breathe, do you. And it's a start, which is the hardest part, right? Getting started. I encourage you to start small and see the magnitude of the impact these small investments in yourself can make in all aspects of your being, spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And if you need some extra encouragement, join our Slow Mornings movement. We discuss our slow morning routines, tips, and tricks almost every day on our socials. So be sure to join the conversation and find us at Dreamworker Chronicles on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. That concludes this episode of Chronicles of a Dreamworker. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear from you and hear more about your dreams. So drop me a message at dreamworkerchronicles@gmail.com. We'd love for you to like and subscribe if you're catching this on YouTube, and be sure to follow along on your favorite podcast platform. You can also learn more about me and my intuitive work at ktthompson.com. Wishing you sweet dreams. Chronicles of a Dreamworker is a Black Swamp production.